live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast and it's hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I am the other host, Paul. And I know you're surprised to see us on a Wednesday night because normally we're there on a Sunday. But yes, we thought we'd do the episode midweek because no football. You wouldn't join us. Let's be honest. You wouldn't join us on Christmas Eve. I would judge you all if you did anyway.
Yeah, I would too.
But yes, so we are joined tonight by a crew, shall we say, of pirates and Lee. Yes, Daddy Discord is joining us tonight, and I just can't seem to get rid of him. And he has promised he's going to smile tonight, so that'll probably creep a few of us out. We've had a few demonstrations before. We've got Santa Jake as well, like say, looking all Christmassy with a few Easter eggs in his little box there, so you have to try and spot them. And we are joined by the maniacal, evil, clown-loving Kay.
Wow.
What an introduction.
Yes. Thought I'd give a special introduction tonight.
Thank you.
So yes. So Sammy, do you want to do your bits? Because like I say, we didn't do it on Sunday because it was it felt like the longest episode.
but it wasn't in the grand scheme of it. It could have been longer. But no, I'll ask the question that I didn't ask on Sunday. How you doing and what you've been watching? Is it getting even more creepier as I do it?
A little bit.
Okay. You should just make it like more and more creepy.
And I'm going to try and evolve it next year.
Yeah, wider eyes, I think, would lock it in. Oh no, you know what? I don't think I've been watching much at all. I'm trying to like rack my brains, other than keeping up on the anime One Piece. I have to do as a lifelong obligation.
You've made a commitment now, Jake. You can't back out of it.
Well, yeah, and did you guys see that they announced that they're going to redraw all the anime and start it all over again?
Yes, and that's when I'm going to watch it.
Okay. Well, they might cut out some of the side stories.
Oh no, don't say that.
No, people love that. People love filler being cut out. I don't personally, because I don't know. I'll just sit and watch anything. If I get to be in the world I like, I just want more episodes.
Bless you.
But no, I think like the only thing I've been like vaguely watching is you know that like the Stalker show with the really bad name.
I would never put you down as like watching something like that.
Well, here's the secret. It's pretty much a Dexter ripoff, and I did like Dexter. Well, I don't know which book came out first, but the TV show is very Dexter-like, and at one point one of the characters calls him Dexter, like when they find out what he's been doing. So it's like they know. But no, like I like that kind of TV show where it's like super high drama, and then like like it's the most awkward thing you've ever seen happening, and you're like, how are they going to get out this one? I have to watch next episode.
So you're just basically describing every Nerdy Up North episode that's been. So yeah,
possibly, yeah. Like Paul digs himself into a corner. How
is Paul going to get himself out of this hole this week? Tune in, guys, and find out. But yeah, what about you? Have you been watching anything interestingly?
I've started season 2 of Reacher because that came out on Friday.
All right.
I don't know if anybody watched the first season or not.
No.
Is that the one with the super buff guys? Like
the potential new Batman.
Oh no.
Yeah. He is.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, go on.
Yeah, it's basically the films Reacher that came out, the Tom Cruise ones. They're shit.
Yeah.
Don't bother with them. But the TV show is just amazing. It's just intense from start to finish. It's quite like conspiracy sort of action mystery orientated, and quite violent.
Yeah, because there was books about them as well. Because the books always described him as this 7-foot like goddess of a man, and then Tom Cruise was cast. But yeah,
I did read a comment on our Facebook page because the guy has been pegged as the new Batman in James Gunn's new DC world. He is Hawk in Titans. He's also young Scully in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But somebody did make a great comment saying he is the level that Tom Cruise can only wish that he could reach to. because of like the difference in size.
He was in a TV show as well on Sci-Fi, so you know how amazing them TV shows were. Which would be up K Street. It was called Blood Drive. It was basically like set in a dystopian future where all cars ran on blood. So basically, people had it was basically something. It was like a cross between Mad Max House as a Thousand Corpses and just some really weird shit. But basically, they were driving across. And Repo the Rock Opera had a big vibe of this as well, because it was all about like stealing body parts and people being like live longer because they harvest organs. But yeah, it was called Blood Drive. So they were like racing across dystopian America, like killing people and filling the cars with blood.
Sounds really inconvenient.
Yeah.
It really does.
So in a world where petrol and fuel is gone, blood becomes the new fuel. So
makes sense.
But yes, have you been watching anything interesting, Kay?
I'm really behind on this one, but I didn't watch it when it came out. I've just finished Squid Game.
All right.
Yeah, just finished Squid Game because I stupidly watched is it called The Challenge first, where it's like the real life version. So I ruined all of the twists and turns for myself watching Squid Game.
Oh no!
But I'm gonna say something. It might be controversial. Like here I go again. The tug of war game. Okay, that was more horrific than any horror film. That was horrible.
Yeah. It's just a feeling. It was when you watch The Challenge, they cut that out because I said health and safety. They couldn't physically do it without someone getting injured. And they changed it with Battleship.
What, like You Sunk My Battleship?
Yeah, like a live action, like a life-size Battleship version, where people were standing things. But yeah, the original, when I was surprised by the original Squid Games, how good and how invested you got in that show as well. So, but you've done it at the right time, to be honest, because the second one's coming out next year.
Yes.
Yeah, you haven't got that far to wait.
Yes.
I mean, I wasn't too big on the ending though, I must admit. But hey ho.
Well, yeah. I say it's sucker for a happy ending, but was it happy? He's going
on. I generally can't remember what happened at the end, to be honest.
He basically dyes his hair red and goes back into the Squid Games to re-enter.
All right, I'll have to watch it again because honestly, my memory's shocking.
Don't have
hence
to
the
watch
reason.
it again.
What did we do that with recently? Oh, Invincible. So we're all caught up with Invincible season 2. So
that's
good.
Short.
Yeah, no, we watched the first season again.
Of it.
They really don't. But I have started. Wish I never did. But I have. I've started The Traitors.
The king of trash TV.
Oh my God. I have never been so infuriated with a bunch of strangers in my life. I thought I didn't realize that we get to know straight away what's going on. And in my head, that makes it 10 times worse. It really does. It's so frustrating. We're only halfway through, but it's me parents' fault that I'm watching it.
I think I sent you a message. The Australian one is 10 times worse because
we're probably going to watch that next.
Yeah.
But like when you say worse, do you mean better? Like, you know?
Oh no, better because the people are nastier and horrible to each other, and it's like it's
for reality TV. The worse the people are, the better the show is.
Yeah. Well, we started watching it. I put it on, and Anthony went, "Oh, this is not me. I don't like this." And he probably been huffy about it. And I went, "Listen, you haven't even given it a chance. We haven't even finished the first episode." Well, I know I don't like it. I don't like this type of reality TV. Should I put the next episode on? Yeah, go on.
It's one of
so
those.
He's like, he's all like in it with us now.
I know. We've just finished the second season of the Aussie one about a month ago, well, a couple of weeks ago, and there was points where I had to pause it because I was getting that irate at the TV because people were being that stupid. And like they were letting themselves be manipulated and being talked out to, and nothing made sense. It was like, you're questioning me, so you're a traitor, and everyone's like, oh shit, she's never questioned anyone before, so she has to be. And it's like, you fucking idiots, just but yeah.
They did that on the last episode. The minute it came up that the person who they voted wasn't a traitor, they're like, I knew it, and someone went, it must be you then, because you wrote his name down. I went, oh, for fuck's sake, you really are clutching at straws. But no, I'm proper invested now. God damn it.
Yes.
God damn it.
I've not been watching anything new. I've been quite boring and re-watching The Sopranos. I've just watched the Pine Barrens episode, which is literally the best TV episode that I have ever seen of TV. It's hilarious.
My sister will probably do another. She does at least 2 runs of The Soprano a year. She absolutely loves it. I couldn't even get past the first season.
I mean, I think mob shows are like an acquired taste, aren't they? Like, I go back and forth. Like, sometimes I'm like, yeah, mob stuff, and then other times, like, it bores the hell out of me. So, like, I've got to be in like a specific mood for like
I get that.
mob crime drama.
I totally get that.
I'm the same, and I'm going to say something controversial, like Kay's just done as well. I can't stand the Godfather trilogy. I think it's like not great movies. So, but I
ain't
love.
seen a second of it. I've seen Goodfellas though.
Yeah, but
Goodfellas is great. Look, I love the first Godfather, and that's like that. That's it. That we don't need any more. I don't need to know that what's his face absolutely fucked everything up. I just don't. I don't care about his grandfather and or his father and his life beforehand. Just
Spoilers.
The first one. That'll do. I mean, if you've not seen it, I'm not being held responsible for that spoiler. But no, the first one's just, it's brilliant. Don't need any more.
Cool.
Don't need any Fredo, what do you call it, traitorism.
No, it's fine. The Brooklyn Nine-Nine done it better anyway, so it's fine. So, do you want to do your disclaimer there, Sammy?
Yes, and we can get into One Piece.
One Piece, yeah.
So, everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us in the Facebook page, the Discord or comment section where we can have an open discussion. What we won't have, though, is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Very well said. And with me being talking on the phone all day today, I am losing my voice a little bit. So if I go a bit croaky, I do apologise. So, One Piece. Is it real? Is it there? Does it exist? So yes.
Do we care?
I don't know. Nobody knows yet. They haven't got there in the anime.
So,
but no, you shouldn't care. That's the thing. You shouldn't care about that part because, like, the character's the good part
and the journey and the adventure.
Yeah.
Now, I know when they announced the Netflix were doing this show, Lee and Jake got very excited. Well, Lee was very excited. Jake was kind of like, "Oh no, please don't ruin my favorite show."
Yeah, scared to death.
Yeah, because Jake has been the one that has been the pioneer for like out of the Nerdy Up North team for One Piece, where like literally every conversation we'll have is watch One Piece. It has the best theme tune. It like I said, literally any answer, it's like watch One Piece. That's been Jake's go-to response.
Also, like I realized last year when we did like our year roundup, like that was probably the first time I talked about One Piece properly because I was like, well, I have been watching it all year and it's been good this year. But yeah, like I just know it's a massive thing though. Like I can't be like, I can say watch One Piece, but I won't seriously say like you should watch One Piece because there's like 1,100 episodes and you've got to approach that quest on your own. Like, you can't force anyone to do it because it's like, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's one hell of a barrier to entry.
It is. Do you think after the live action people did actually go and do it? Do you think that's
but they'll still be watching it if they're sticking with it. Like,
yeah.
I don't think anyone could have caught up yet unless like that's all they do.
I've never invested myself in a program before apart from The Walking Dead, and I don't know if I'm ready to like go back into that kind of investment. So I'm not sure yet.
So
it's a better investment than The Walking Dead, I can tell you that.
Oh, I can probably agree with you on that, and I haven't even seen it.
So when we announced we were going to do like a fantasy month for Christmas, because as we found previously, Christmas episodes don't do too well for some reason. So
they don't work.
No. So when we thought about what fantasy things can we talk about, so the big ones jumped up top of the list was Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, and then we thought, oh, Princess Bride, and we wanted one to really cap off the year with something a bit special, if that makes sense. And what better fantasy and adventure than what I would probably say is easily one of the best TV shows I have watched this year. And when we thought about this pirate adventure in One Piece, I thought perfect thing to like kind of end the year with, because it has been this mega hit. And I know when we said we want to do it, I know Lee jumped up like a spoiled little boy, like saying, I want it, I want it, I want it. Jake was like, I'm already on it. That's that's not gonna happen. But then when we were talking to Kay, she was like, oh, I really want to do it. So coming to Kay's side of things, why did you want to join us on this merry band of adventure?
For me, so my partner is super duper into One Piece. He's fully up to date on the manga and the anime, and his friends are super into it as well. And it's more a community and a fandom thing. I think the fandom for One Piece is so big, and it's a very passionate, but also this very positive fandom. Which for someone who deals with horror all the time, it is a lot of doom and gloom and very, just it gets you down sometimes. And then you've got characters like Luffy who just have this infectious positivity, and it's one of those fun adventures to go along with, and you are invested in these characters because they've all got their own dreams, and that's what One Piece is about, isn't it? It's about following along with these characters' dreams and seeing where it leads them. So for me, it's a nice break away from the doom and gloom that is horror.
Certainly. So a little bit of light to your dark there. So I
totally get that. Horror can make me go cold sometimes inside. I think there was a couple of years ago I had to just cut off horror altogether because of how cold it was making us. So stuff like this is like, oh, it just warms you up.
It's funny you guys say that though, because I think like Lee will know, like this show will make you cry on the regular. Like this show will break your heart, like the like the anime, and it's not all fun and games for the Straw Hats, unfortunately. But like I think I'm pretty sure like 2 weeks ago I cried at the anime. Like it was happy because it was like the end of a story arc. But yeah, this is like an emotional roller coaster. But yes, the first season was all smiles and fun time. Apart from what happened to Nami, I guess. But yeah,
Sanji and Zeph, you know.
Oh, you haven't even started on Sanji's backstory.
Well, this is true.
So with us as well, as we said, with Jake is like our One Piece guru. He is up to date with like the anime. Lee is trying to catch him up and like almost like chasing after him like Luffy would be after the One Piece. And like say,
does that make me Shanks then?
Yes, you're red-handed Shanks. So me, Sammy, I've experienced anime a little bit, so I've probably got 100 episodes in before I was getting a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, where did you get to? Like what was the story?
2020 Chopper just popped up, so I just
so like that island, like the Christmas island, basically.
Pretty much, and he met the Doctor, then he joined the crew and then everyone kept on trying to eat him, but for some reason I don't know why.
Which he's meat. He's made of meat.
Yes,
and Luffy loves meat.
But when I watched the live action One Piece, I hadn't seen one episode or like known anything about it. But I think Kay hit the nail on the head the way I would describe this show. It's all about hope and it's all about dreams, but the positivity from Luffy is so infectious that you can't help that, because sometimes when it's like all lovey-dovey and all glitchy and like everything's all nice, it can get a bit sickly and you can think, oh, just please do something wrong, like fuck off, no one's that nice. But you don't want Luffy to turn just yet because he's so innocent and you kind of love that about him and that aspect to him, and he rubs off on his crew. And even on the first episode when you're watching it and like they do well like introducing you to these characters and bringing characters in, like Zoro getting brought in and Nami getting brought in, and already like just by meeting Luffy you can see he's rubbing off on them and their interactions, because like I think Zoro at the start is called the demon and like he's quite like ice cold and stoic, and by the end of the first episode he's even cracking a smile, which is just
a beautiful smile.
It's a lot of like the theme of the show is like found family, like massively, and it's a lot of like picking up like outsiders and like Luffy's like bringing them into a family. So like you say, like Zoro has had to like harden himself and become like, you know, a pirate hunter who's just like, you know, like getting bounties
Mhm.
and like killing everyone he sees, sort of thing.
Mhm.
But he doesn't like want to be that. Like it's like, you know, he wants like the family, but he's never like had it, because like you see a bit of his backstory where he's sort of
Mhm.
abandoned and in that like samurai training school, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's like all of them are looking for like more, or they've been like abandoned, and then Luffy scoops them up and everyone gets a family. It's awesome.
Great. And one thing that did impress me as well, because I know with shows like on Netflix or like I say American shows, in a way it can be over egged, especially like in the first season, where you can get probably about like 14 episodes or 24 episodes, like if you're talking like all the shows like Supernatural and stuff like that. They were quite restrained with this. We got an 8-episode arc. I know probably the reasons why is like the cost of the show, and they didn't know that if the season 2 was going to get renewed and as such. So it was kind of just a taster, but I hope they do stick to that formula, because I think the 8 episodes was enough, and you got enough of the story to kind of like get invested and kind of fall in love with like the things that's going on, that it didn't overstay its welcome at the same time.
Yeah, I totally agree. It didn't feel like, I always like series in America, they're usually like 22 episodes long or something. They can be quite like, well, they used to be anyway. It's kind of changed now. But yeah, this just seemed like the right amount of episodes to be able to tell us. And that's just down to really good writing as well. Like, because of how great the writing is, it kind of doesn't need to be having hundreds of episodes to be able to explain just one thing.
So yeah, like Paul, how did it feel checking out the anime? Like, because it's kind of the TV show is incredibly faithful, I would say. So like,
100%.
what was it like? What was it like going backwards, like, and watching where it came from?
Like the subtle changes, like Zeph's and and I can't remember his name now. My brain's one thing. Their relationship on the island where they get marooned after the ship's board, like that was
okay, yeah,
slightly different, but not at the same way. That was quite an intriguing thought. The only thing, I think we joked about it when we've talked about it previously through chat and stuff, is whenever there was a fight, like a boss fight that they have, normally it'll be over within, like, say, an episode in normal TV or normal cartoons, but this went on, like in the anime, it went on for like 7 or 18 episodes, depending on which boss fight it was. But they did it in such a way that was like everything was escalating, and there was great characters in the anime that I thought, oh, I would have loved to seen how they would have done it, like the octopus dude, part of Hatchin. Him on the live action would have been such a mind fuck just to see.
Yeah,
and that would be an interesting take. But I think
I was looking at that today, and I think people are saying they didn't put him in probably because of budget reasons for like CGI or whatever. Because I mean, some guy with 8 arms swinging swords around would have been quite a task and a lot of money to put in.
They had the creepy lips guy though, which I thought was funny. Like the guy who spits the water, like. But like they didn't do the same thing, did they? Because that in the anime, that's like the first time Usopp technically defeats someone like properly with his hammer. Yeah. So like there was a few moments where I was like, oh, they've skipped over that, but it's just like trying to not be like too precious with things, because like I know they've got to fit it into a season. So like I'm not mad at them for like skipping over stuff, because there's probably cuts you can make in everything. Like it's fine for another director to have a go at a story, like type of thing.
I thought they made smart decisions with the cuts as well, because I know one of the fights was I can't remember him now, but in the anime it was Luffy versus one of the big bad guys that was supposed to be one of the biggest bads on the water, but then in like a cutscene where Garp was contacting one of the warlords of the pirates to go after Luffy, he was having the battle with the guy and he took him out pretty quickly.
Don Krieg.
Don Krieg, that's the one. And it was kind of like, it would have been interesting to see more of the Don Krieg arc from the anime, but instead they went that way. But I thought, okay, it's not really a big miss or loss of the story, but they've just showed this person now as a bit of more of a badass, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like some of those characters, I didn't even know what you're talking about. Like certain characters show up later, some characters are just gone forever. Like that's like 1,000 episodes ago. So like they definitely pick their favorites, and like, so I wonder if the TV show has that hindsight where they're like, okay, we've seen who is important to the creator, because Buggy's still around, and it's like, so yeah, they've clearly picked out the important characters and been like, well, they actually kept coming back like season to season, because the stuff with Kobe is not as like, that's not as prevalent in the anime, but I think that was a really smart choice to like highlight that side of things and give it so much screen time, because like, again, he is a character that is still relevant, but like back then he just didn't have as much development until like a long time like later.
So annoying. But
well, everyone
really
hates
cool
the little nerd child in anime, but like in the live action they made them sexy.
A bit like Lee, so yeah. So Lee, what got you into, like, I know you're going to say Jake got you into One Piece, but what basically drew you to? Because I know we had a bit of a bonding session when the One Piece live action came out. Because I think me, you, and Donna were the three that stopped up all night on the Discord watching an episode, then talking back to each other saying, have you watched this bit yet? Then when we did, I think we stopped talking about 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
Wow.
Well, yeah, Jake pretty much did get me into One Piece, but I'm not really big into anime. I'm a massive Dragon Ball fan. But
Wait there, you're not big into anime when Dragon Ball's one of the biggest animes out there.
yeah, I mean, like, I've only really watched 2 animes, which is Dragon Ball and One Piece. There's been like bits and pieces I've tried, but that's the main 2. And this is very similar to Dragon Ball, as in like the characters is like a lot of like happiness, and then they'll fight someone, and then they have a carry on and just piss about. But this actually gets shit done.
Right.
Dragon Ball will have like 10 episodes of someone going, ah! But those 10 episodes, instead of just like Goku fighting someone, it'll be Luffy having a fight with like Crocodile or someone like that, who you'll see soon. And then it'll cut to another scene of Zoro having a fight against Mr. One, and then it'll go to Nami having a fight against Miss Sunday or whoever. And it actually showcases all of the characters instead of being just the Luffy show.
All right.
And
yeah, because in Dragon Ball, it's like everyone waits for Goku. Like that's every story arc, isn't it? Like bide time until Goku shows up.
The TV show, I feel like it does showcase all of the characters, but instead of having where it'll have one person fight and then show a scene of somebody else fighting and somebody else fighting, they've done it episode by episode. So like, yeah, I mean, you'll see the logo at the beginning of each episode. It'll have like Zoro's logo, and it goes through Zoro's backstory and then Sanji's backstory, and like, I think it's done really well with that.
No, I'd say, as kind of Kay said there, the logo side, that's probably the thing that jumped out at me. It's been, like I say, a bit of a, like, try and be a bit of a designer. That element was so clever, and like the way that they did it as well. You knew what was going to be happening in that episode, or where it was going to be focused on, and it was quite, like say, entertaining at the same time as well.
Also, a big shout out to the music as well. At the beginning of every episode, I watched a lot of TikToks on. They were talking about how they did sound design for it and how they designed themes for characters like Buggy and Zoro, and the way they introduced the characters with these themes, that you'll see them creeping in throughout each episode when their character has the moment, and it just works so well. They're beautiful, so well done.
There was a lot of discussion on TikTok when this came out around the characters not being true to the actual anime, and having some of their I don't know how the right word to use, their ethnicity not being correct, and people getting really upset over it, that it's an anime series that didn't.
To keep the ethnicity correct.
I totally agree. I'm not arguing that at all.
Oda says that Luffy was Brazilian. Zoro's definitely Japanese. The only one is Sanji is meant to be French, but he's got a proper London accent, ain't he?
Yeah. It's weird though, because I've always watched in Japanese, so I didn't have any kind of like voice or accent like like leanings, if you know, because I don't know. They probably do have regional accents for Japan, but like I'm not gonna notice. But yeah, like nothing jumped out to me as like that's wrong. I mean, like you could argue like I guess they're probably I'm sure a lot of people were complaining about Usopp not having a Pinocchio nose, but you can't do that in live action like the whole time. Like you could have a one-off that kind of looked like that, but yeah, like
Zoro wasn't intense enough.
I'm sure he was more than enough for Sammy.
In the anime, he seems like everything's intense, and he's always like he could just attack at any time. But in this, he's very like he's too laid back, and it's like they've tried to make him the cool one that doesn't care. And to me, he just feels like there's an episode of Family Guy where there's this cool kid in school. And it's like, I don't play by anyone's rules, not even my own. And that's Zoro's character in this. I feel.
Maybe. But then that moment though when he like almost dies is like I feel like that's him coming around to this whole like crew idea. When he notices that they're all like around him on his like deathbed, possibly.
I felt like it was a bit of a rebirth.
Yeah, well, it kind of is because it's like he realizes that he is in no way a strong swordsman at the moment.
I bawled my eyes out at that scene. I'm not gonna lie.
It's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's like exactly that's exactly how. Yeah, it's exactly how it goes in the anime as well, with that tiny sword off his necklace and everything. And then he finally like cuts him up with his real sword to prove that he's like accepted him slightly.
it's just when because obviously Luffy's been looking after him, and when he just turns around and he's like, I am your second, and I'm like, oh, yes, you are.
Oh, bless. So talking about the characters as well. So I know we were having discussions about this before, but we'll go into a bit more detail. So who was your favorite character, not in the anime, but in the live action? Which one like stood out to you in the live action? Because I'll go first, because mine's probably obvious. Like say, I absolutely adored Luffy. Like say, I even changed my name on the Discord to Captain Luffy for a little bit. Just I just think his message or his like journey, because he doesn't really it's a very basic journey to start with, till like say the last things when he realizes what it means to be a captain, and his like final fight with Garp in this episode is quite telling as well. But he never breaks, he never loses hope, he never loses that focus that he, like you say, that he wants to be king of the pirates, and he wants to like to get the best out of people or help people get their dreams. And I kind of resonated with us a little bit as well. Not saying I give people the dreams, but I do try and help people like with like say the stuff that they want to do and get there and stuff like that. So that kind of like fitted to that personality. But I absolutely adored him. And again, the casting wise, I don't think anyone else could have played him as well as this guy, because he just embodied everything. Like I know the anime, he's very more high on a high or anything like that, but to be honest, if we got a live action where we had the anime of Luffy's personality, that would be a lot very quick. So this one, even though it's toned down a bit, it kind of fit the character quite nicely.
I think it would come off as disingenuous as well if he was like too hyper, because I think in anime, and I think it's probably because it comes from like a manga comic, you have to like exaggerate everything a bit because it's usually just a black and white comic. And then they pretty much just redraw that for the animation. So like like I don't think over the top like melodrama always works in live action. But I'm the same. Like Luffy massively impressed me because that's my favorite character from the anime, like 100%. And I was like, oh, this guy seems really good when I saw like the pre-interviews and stuff and like the little clips that were doing, like all of them like on a stage. And like I couldn't fault it. Like, and he did his research as well, because you could see how like giddy he was when he got to go to like the manga studio and like see everything like being drawn and stuff. And he got to meet the voice actress for Luffy in the anime, and she gave him a straw hat and everything. And I was like, oh, well, that's like perfect. Like, this guy's earned it like 100%.
What about you?
That's so sweet.
Sorry.
Me. Was that to me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you're gonna make me choose.
Yep.
No, all right, okay. I like.
That's
the
what we
crazy...
do. That's what we break people's hearts in this game. So yes.
I can't choose, and it's just gonna make me look weird.
Go on, pick the clown. Pick the clown.
Crazy unhinged man. I'm like Buggy and Mihawk.
Mihawk's not that unhinged. He doesn't do much. He's just stoic.
I love him so much. He's so good.
He is a goth girl's fantasy, though.
Oh, well, from the anime, I've been told, because I haven't actually seen this part of the anime, because I was watching One Piece originally, because I couldn't commit. I needed to get rid of the filler, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I only watched One Piece up until Syrup Village, and then jumped into the live action. But, so I've been told from the people who've engaged with the manga and the anime, Mihawk's entrance is it's a little bit more. Like, you see him on his little coffin boat, and I was like, I want to see the coffin boat, and we didn't get enough of that. I'm sad.
Yeah, he gets a bit more goth later on. Like, he lives in a castle with like a what would you call it? Like a goth girl who's
She's like
more
Lolita, isn't she?
Yeah,
Roronoa,
like a Japanese interpretation anime goth girl who's got ghost powers.
Roronoa.
Yeah, but like it's interesting because he's not massively in it, but obviously with this being a real life sexy man, they're probably gonna have to give him more screen time. Now that everyone's a fan.
His TikTok has just blown up, and you see him all the time now doing these videos where he's just doing the Mihawk voice because the
Just
fans
staring
are
at the
going
camera.
Imagine
I
getting
did-
hit just by doing the Mihawk voice.
I did really
this
like
man.
I did really like as well how they like did special eyes for people so you could tell, like, because it just gives the character more character, like more differentiation, and it's like this is like a fantasy world and stuff. And I'm just glad they weren't like scared to do stuff like that, because like we've lived through that whole like Marvel period where they were almost embarrassed of the source material and like trying to like ground everything, and it was just nice that this was like, no, we're 100%, like we're gonna bring mermen in immediately, like no hesitation without, and we'll explain it later, but we're not gonna like hammer you over the head with preparation for anything weird that happens.
No, and I think that's a good way. Like, as you said, it is a fantasy world, and it doesn't shy away from that. And like, I think from the introduction of Luffy when he's like in the barrel and stuff, and then he's on the Almeida, I can't pronounce the name right. Alvida's ship, and that fight scene, and then he goes into full stretchy mode, and then like that's basically, you buy in, you see that, and you think, yes, this is just entertaining as fuck. But again, I know we talked to Kay about like a fascination with clowns, but why Buggy as well?
I just love him. Like, it's his silly little quirks with like where he knocks one of the guys out and you see him sticking the middle finger up to them right before the screen cuts to black. I love like the intro that we get to him, the way he's just sitting on the chair and he's acting all macho, and then he's like, wrong, the spotlight wasn't on. Like, he's just so good.
But I think, because I didn't know this, you alluded to, is that there is Buggy fans, or thirsty Buggy fans out there.
Yes.
But
yes.
when I was introduced to him as well, I was kind of, because as you said, I've seen people cosplay as him, and I've seen pictures of the anime, but I didn't know he ate the fruit where he just like could be chopped into pieces or go into pieces and thing. But seeing that and how they had done that as well, that could have been really bad, and they had done it so well. And like, even when you're watching it back, there's questions you're thinking, okay, he can get chopped up, but why does his clothes get chopped up? But again, that's just me, like taking out the realm of fantasy and realm of like movie magic type thing. But when I watched it the first time, I just didn't give a fuck. I was like, how are they going to beat this guy? There was just that fight and everything was just so entertaining and so well done.
The behind the scenes of that fight is fantastic as well, by the way. Like, Iñaki and Emily Rudd, like they actually choreographed that entire fight, and they had people just throwing stuff at them that were meant to be body parts, and they're actually like fending them off.
That's so good. This did have a lot of practical elements, because that was the first thing they ever showed, was the floating restaurant ship that's like a fish, and everyone was like, oh, they're just building it out of wood. Like, that's not how Netflix shows usually go. Like, everything's on a green screen. So like, that was the first sign for me when I was like, oh, okay, maybe they're putting like actual love and care into this, because the places are almost as important as like the characters in One Piece. Like it has very clear arcs, and when you're in a place, like the characters dress up with like the local clothes and stuff. It's like it's very important, and because it's a world with like islands everywhere, like everyone's culture is important to them, and it's like, are you respecting that culture? The bad guys usually not. It's like that's usually like where the conflict comes in.
No,
But yeah,
no, I agree. And
Buggy's weird because I hate him from the anime. I've never like
No.
Luffy doesn't like Buggy either. That's the thing. Like that's the one character that Luffy like never remembers, because like he'll bring up stuff. You're like, oh, remember when I was gonna blow that town up? Like this was only like, I don't know, a few years in the anime, and like Luffy's like, no. Like, he just doesn't remember him, whereas he remembers everyone else that he likes.
Oh, but isn't that the joke though? Because Buggy wants to be this big, memorable, like act or clown or pirate.
Yeah.
And the fact that Luffy doesn't remember him will probably just infuriate and make him more and more angry, to the point where that, like, imagine if I don't know if, like, say, this is just a guess, the end fight for the One Piece is Buggy versus Luffy, showdown.
It's not actually that far off, because like what they've just revealed is that he accidentally became the figurehead of like a super pirate group. Like, you know, like he kind of accidentally got embroiled in it because he owed somebody money. It's like he's now part of this cross guild thing, and it's like Crocodile and Mihawk, I think, are actually in charge, but he got put on the poster biggest, and it's like he's just hoping they don't kill him. So like he could end up in the final battle, like, for all we know. He's one of Oda's favorite characters, I think. You know, the guy who draws and writes the anime.
To be fair though, if you're going to have a crazy clown, like, say, you've got, like, if you do it well, as we found out, like with other comics and other clown characters, clowns do well. Clowns always do well. Lee, what about you? Like, say, you're looking all stoic with your straw hat there. It doesn't quite fit your head yet.
No, it's a little bit too small. This
You can't shrink into it. It's never it.
In the anime, Zoro was my favorite character, but like I said, I think he just seemed a bit too pretty and a bit too cool in the live action.
He can never be too pretty.
But I really loved Sanji. Sanji in the anime is just an absolute dork. Like, he goes up to women, he's like, "Oh, Nami-san," and goes all wobbly and like he's going to hearts and stuff.
Like if people haven't seen much anime, it's like Brock from Pokemon. He's basically that. He's that trope.
But he's just proper smooth in this instead, and like going to Nami and being like, "What can I get you to drink, darling?" And he's just like, he is actually a bit cooler, but the other characters don't think so. Like Nami's still just like, oh, get out of yourself, man.
What again? It's interesting that you've picked that, because when I done my research on the show, like after I watched that, because I did want to find out a little bit more. And as Jake said, a lot of the characters went off and done a lot of training. He actually trained to be a chef. The guy who plays him.
The cast members behind the scenes cooking during takes.
Yes.
That's so cute.
Wow.
Are they all going to set off on a real pirate ship when they finish
Is that what they're
filming?
aiming for?
Possibly, but apparently, like you say, he loved it that much. He actually went into full chef training and got like qualified. Like his knife skills that you see in the show is the skills that he learned and used. But talk about the food as well. The food looks fucking amazing when you watch it on the show as well. It does make us fucking hungry, the bastards. So yes, what about you, Sammy?
Oh, I think I've made it really obvious who my favorite character is in this show. Zoro is he's a beautiful man, but it's also a really beautiful character as well. I love the relationship that is forming between him and Sanji. I'm really sorry if I get names and pronunciation. I've been practicing with Anth before I came in. We all know how bad I am with names. But him and, is it Sanji? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's me that's getting them wrong, don't worry.
It's them two. at the end fight scene when they're just trying to outdo each other and outrun each other, but
Mhm.
kind of like impressed with each other at the same
They're
time.
very Gimli and Legolas, aren't they?
Isn't it? We're like back to the rings again.
No, the
It's
rings
another
can fuck
reason
off
why I
now,
love
sorry.
Sanji so much. Just him and Zoro bounce off each other so well, and it's just amazing.
It's
like,
not
and-
dumb-faced Legolas, you know what I
And
mean?
that never stops either. Like the rivalry between them two.
do.
Bosshead.
I
Yeah,
just
that
loved
was
it.
interesting because like they did try and get some of those like anime lines in, but they didn't make them like very obvious. I don't know if they
Mhm.
landed because like, and I don't know, like he calls Sanji bushy brows in the anime, and I don't know if like the guy's got bushy enough eyebrows.
He looks
to
like
be
he's got
called-
very well-trimmed eyebrows. He's very, very smart. But I love Sanji's relationship with the pirate chef.
Mhm.
Help me,
Zeph.
Mhm.
Zeph.
Seth. That's it. Who is Dan from EastEnders? Well done, him. But yeah,
I just recognise him from like every Call of Duty game. Like there's always like the narrator on the top going, "Quick, you gotta get up the hill, 200 yards up there, there's
That's
some enemies."
I was like, oh my god, it's Dan from EastEnders. Why do I know this? But yeah, I loved the story with them, their arc, and
Mhm.
it was hard one to watch. But when he's leaving and he's just thanking him, and I'm gonna start crying because it was just so emotional because it was like they had like a love-hate relationship that
Mhm.
just ended up
Yeah.
being just more love than it was hate.
Oh.
It was so beautiful. There was so many beautiful scenes in this. And that was probably that and a few Nami ones as well. But I loved it.
See, it's the opposite for me. I normally fall in love with people, but everyone always ends up hating us in the end. So yeah, it's different sides of the story there.
Yay.
No, it's like it's that whole like thing. There's loads of like angry, harsh fathers in One Piece.
Yes.
Like that's what Paul's like to us. He's like telling us
Yeah.
we're rubbish behind the scenes, but then he loves us really.
Well, just mainly Lee. Lee, you're a bad bastard, but yeah, that's fine. One thing I did notice as well, because I know you asked us a question a long time ago about subtle changes as well, like Zoro's first entrance into the show introduced us to a big thing that's probably going to come later on in this series, Baroque works. How he's fighting number 7 and like say they ask him to join Baroque works and he was saying and like that element as well. So when I saw that, I just thought it was just a general like pirate hunting thing. But watching the anime, because I got past like being introduced to Crocodile and Baroque works and stuff like that, it's interesting that they went there so early with them. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought the same because I was like, oh, are they just gonna like? Because that was like early on. I was like, oh, they're just gonna name drop loads of things from the anime just to keep like us happy, like whether it makes sense or not. But no, they did pull back. Like they only mentioned stuff when it made sense. But yeah. But I wonder if that's kind of what I was saying, where because they know where the story goes, they can drop hints. Because that's one thing I've noticed in the anime. Like One Piece does like to just be like, this faction exists and it's really important, and you're like, okay,
like where's he been 99 episodes ago type thing.
Yeah, like where's this island been the whole time? We just found it. I don't know.
But I think, as you said, it's with having the hindsight and stuff, they can like move the pieces on the board, shall we say, to try and get things in place. But no, there was certain elements. I know when I went back and watched it for the second time, I loved the beginning bit with Gold Roger and he's like say on the thing, because what I was doing was going through and trying to spot the young pirates, saying, "Oh,
in the crowd,
yep, oh, there's Mihawk, oh, there's Redhead Shanks, and stuff like that."
Yeah, I haven't gone over stuff, but like yeah, is Dragon there? Like I don't know. He's a good character.
Cloak.
Yeah.
Dragon.
I had Anthony pointing them all out as it was going on. He bless his heart. He was so excited that I was like getting into, because One Piece has been in our household for God knows how long. So he was so excited that I was getting on board with it, but he was dying to tell us everything before it happened.
I told Natalie loads of stuff for
Yeah,
the future.
Garp's character for one of them told us straight away who he was, and I was like, fucking
Oh, I
fantastic.
kept that a secret.
No, he didn't. I was like, great, but I couldn't be mad at him because of how happy it was making him, because he tried to make us watch a One Piece film, one of the animated ones, like the anime ones, years ago. And I just sat there with a blank expression on my face. Like I had no clue what I was watching. He was actually getting sick of us asking questions. So when we watched this, I thought, no, I'll go in. I'll like, just keep my mouth shut. He could not stop talking. He went on ridiculous. I loved it though. I really did love it. But he did spoil everything.
Yeah. It's the absolute same for me and my partner, because one of the biggest barriers for me getting into One Piece was actually the art style. I'm a huge art snob. And the art style just really, really put me off. It wasn't the hours, it wasn't the episodes. I just couldn't get past the art style. So when they announced the live action, I was like, okay, this is the one for me. This is the one where I'll get into it. And I think they did so much justice to the characters, like staying faithful to their costumes and stuff like that. And I think Arlong looked fantastic.
Yeah, and that could have went so wrong as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A giant fishman, like shark type animal that just
he looked amazing.
Yeah, and again, I might be wrong because but they changed it, like the storyline for Arlong and the fishmen to like almost like the slavery tagline that they put on, and that's why he was bitter and angry and wanting to, like, that was like the reasons rather than just world domination. That was a brave choice as well, I think, to make that change.
Yeah, that's another thing that comes up like a lot later on. How there's like a sort of a ruling class of like royalty that engages in like slavery and stuff like that. And I think they do say that the fishmen were like completely subjugated at one point. But yeah, like it was interesting bringing that forward, because I didn't remember much about Arlong's reasons from the anime. Like when I was watching this, I was like, I remember Arlong Park, and I remember he was like extorting Nami and stuff, which the obviously had in. But yeah, a lot of people were making fun of the like little like the rap beats that were going on like behind them when they were talking and stuff. That was probably like the only silly part where I was like, this is a bit much, guys. But
now,
so,
because it's interesting you say that, because there was one element that still I kind of get my head round. I'll be honest, it still throws us now. I still don't understand it. When I've asked Donna and Tucky about it, they've just went, why the fuck do they use these snails as communicators? And they go,
why? Why not? Why not? I didn't question it. I was just like, I want one. Like,
is it not something to do with like the sound a telephone makes, you know, like in the word being similar, like in Japan, because they like to do that a lot. I don't know for sure. I know like Moshi Moshi is sort of like an informal hello, like on the phone, because you can hear it in like Kill Bill when she's like mush mushy.
Yes.
But,
I don't know why he's chose snails, but because that is weird. Yeah. But they're telepathic, and there's no electricity in the anime. There is in the live action, because they've got like neon signs at the bars and things. But it's probably just that. It's just had to think of like, how can I get telephones in without the electricity?
We'll do snails.
Snails.
And they don't really mention it, but there's also versions of the snails that are really small that can fit in your pocket. There's ones
with a mobile snail.
The basically
for the live action snail pods, people are calling them, which it's like the in-ear version of a shell.
And they also double as televisions and security cameras as well. Like there's ones that project out their eyes. So I don't think it's gonna go away. But I was interested that they just did it.
Yeah.
The custom snails are amazing though. How they customize the snail to each person who owns that, or who you're ringing. Like
it's who's talking to it. I think
snail has the chin metal thing. Luffy's has got the red stripe around it, like his hat.
I think it's like who you're talking to in the anime. So it's like whose voice is coming through is who it looks like. I think that's how it works.
Chris has just said, I thought it was a player on snail mail. I'm judging you, Chris. I'm judging you hard.
No, they have birds for that, which I immediately popped when I saw that the bird was dropping off the paper to Luffy, like, you know, in that first episode or something. I was like, oh my God, they're doing the male birds. Because, like, that's something that I was probably the thing that most excited me when I was like, this is One Piece, you know, like the final sort of episode, like after they've beaten everything and they're like relaxing, sort of like when they dropped off the newspapers and they saw like the wanted posters, like that is just grade A One Piece. That happens at the end of every big story arc. Like, you know, Luffy defeats some kind of like crazy warlord, and then the newspapers get distributed and everyone sees what's happened, and everyone gets like the wanted amounts upgraded like a tiny little bit every time.
So love the wanted posters for the introductions of everyone where they break the fourth wall. That's really clever and so fun.
I was going to ask about that as well.
Oh, and they hid some characters on that wall, didn't they? Where there was loads of the... I think like Bellamy was on there and stuff like that. Yeah.
So with Kay working in the nerdy community as well, so since the One Piece live action came out, did you notice a big change to the casual nerds' spending habits, shall we say?
Oh yes, oh yes. Literally every day after it came out, it was, have you got One Piece live action? Have you got One Piece live action? It was crazy the amount of people, and it's people of all ages, all walks of life. It appealed to absolutely everyone. Honestly, the amount of stock that we went through just for One Piece, and specifically the live action, because obviously we normally have a good range of One Piece stuff in the stores, but it was the live action stuff specifically that people were after as well, which I thought was really nice, because it just shows that, you know, that they've done a good job here. They've done a service to the community, and people are engaging with the live action, not just the anime and the manga. People are actually enjoying it.
And that was mainly Lee that was going in and buying all the shit as well.
This is like I don't
own any live action anime, live action One Piece stuff.
I don't either, but like One Piece is the only anime where I have like stupid things for. I mean, I've got some like Pokemon stuff, but like it's just, I don't know what it is about this series. I just like it, and there's tons of merch.
It's fine. I really can't call anyone out for buying merch at all, kind of.
No, but like this is the one, like this is the one thing that gets me, like, because I've seen like you guys collecting loads of stuff, and I'm just like, I don't get it. And then when like One Piece merch starts showing up in like stores that I can just walk into, I'm like, I get it now. I just didn't want any of the other nerd stuff before this.
I've just had a thought as well, I asked Lee, because we would at Be More Geek, and Anthony pointed out this One Piece Luffy statue that he wanted, and I went to Lee, can you remember what it was? Because I was going to get him it for Christmas. And he was like, no, I can't. And then I should have gone to Kay and said, Kay, it was £70. It was in the middle of the window. Can you tell us which? For fuck's sake. I still want to know, because I still will get him.
It's the Luffy versus Kaido diorama ZBrush figure.
See,
wow.
There you go.
And nobody go out and buy it tomorrow.
Please
until
don't.
Sam's there. Otherwise we'll hunt you down.
You'll be kicked out of the community, Chris.
It's literally like just hit us like a bolt of lightning. Like, I could have just asked Kate.
But that's fine. Sorry, Kate, you've come on to have fun, not to talk about work.
I'm your product dictionary. It's okay.
Bless you. But yeah, it's just so interesting to see. Like, I love when fandoms kind of not are born, but kind of grow and like get out of the little pockets and little gatekeeping. Like, where a lot of people were saying, "Oh, One Piece is ours" and stuff. Like, people can't have them, because it is like a gateway when you see people now. Like going into One Piece and then moving on to, like, say, trying out different anime. It's not just like, say, Pokemon and stuff like that now, or Dragon Ball Z, because Dragon Ball Z was big when I was a kid. But that's just made me think of something as well, because Lee's got a good Dragon Ball Z story from this year, don't you, Lee? No, he's going to look confused.
Really?
Yes.
Give him some more info.
So when we went to Newcastle Comic Con,
right,
you got a photograph with someone?
Oh shit! Yes, I got a photo with James Masters.
Yes.
Oh, King Piccolo.
Yeah.
What did he say to you, Lee?
I was saying, like, look, the film wasn't well received, and he was like, it was shit. And I was like, I wouldn't say that, and he was going, it was shit. And I was like, all right, it was shit, but you were really good in it. You played a really good King Piccolo. And he signed me a picture, which I've got here, as all the other stuff falls down. and it says
You took him that.
This movie sucks. James Masters.
Wow.
Just with you mentioning Dragon Ball Z, I was going to mention it earlier and I forgot, and I just really remembered there. Sorry. So regarding the TV show as well, I know, like I said, trying to get you to do the favorite bits is going to be hard. So, what was your favorite moment from the TV show? So I'll go to Lee first, just to be awkward.
The part where Nami is going long and like stabbing herself in the arm, and then she goes like that, and Luffy grabs her arm and puts her hat on her, and it's so emotional. The anime like does it like more justice because like it goes into more depth about how important Luffy's hat is to him, and that nobody touches his hat. And this moment of him putting the hat on Nami's head is meant to like signify a lot more than it did. But
yeah, and it's like a mirror of like Shanks doing it as well, isn't it? Like, yeah.
But it was still really emotional in the live action, and I did want to cry. Like
I did cry. I bawled, especially when Luffy started shouting, what was it? Yes, we can.
I will!
Of course I will, that's it. And he just kept on going and going, and I was like, the more he kept doing it, and I know it was probably people found it more funny than anything else, the more I was crying, because it was like, oh God, he's really making a point here.
What about you, Jake?
So like I was saying, I really like the wanted poster thing because that's like a massive reference. But to me, it was actually like the group fight scene in Arlong Park. So probably leading from that part that Lee was talking about, like it was shot for shot like the anime where all the guys were like waiting up the path, you know, like doing the cool poses. Then Luffy comes along, and then they all like join him. And I really liked how they did the fight scenes because, like as Lee was saying, it usually in a big battle has like a cutaway to like this character doing something, but in this one they were like everyone's gonna fight together and sort of show off all the moves and like complement each other or get in each other's way, and then you know work together and stuff. And I liked how it was shot for one thing, because I'm big on like fight choreography. And I hate it when it's like a close-in shaky cam thing. And this showed everything nicely framed. So I was like, yes, I'm happy.
So they've taken the time to actually do everything properly type thing, rather than shortcuts and stuff. Because
like in the anime, in most anime fighting, you know, like battle anime, like the attacks are very important. You know, like that joke where he was like, cool guys name their attacks. And then like Sanji does one later on. And you know Zoro's thinking... You know, he's like, next time there's a big battle, like Zoro's gonna accidentally shout like, you know, Onigiri, like Dragon Twister or something. And I just love that kind of how they're taking the fighting stuff seriously, because it is a fighting anime. You know, people shout giant attacks constantly. Like Luffy has said gumma no pistol like probably 1,000 times at this point. And I liked how they got all Luffy's attacks in and named them appropriately, and they were accurate. how he destroyed Arlong's like I don't know, map room thing with his like giant axe kick, which is exactly what he does in the anime. I was very happy.
Very cool. What about you, Sammy?
Oh gosh, I thought you were going to go to Kate first. So I was like,
I think I saw Kate. I think I saw Kate googling something. So I was like, oh no, I'll give her a chance to think.
For all I love every scene that Zoro was in, not just because he's absolutely beautiful. I just think he's an interesting character. Can somebody do us a favor, please, and see his full name?
Roronoa Zoro.
Say it again.
Roronoa Zoro.
Thank you. I love his name. I can't say it.
I thought you were just getting really creepy to you there. Like it's like, say it again, bitch.
Not. And no, absolutely not. I just want to hear it said because I absolutely love the name. And Ant kept saying it to us, and he went, Sam, just say Zoro. It's like in Japan, in Japan, they'll always say their last name first. So you just need to say Zoro. Zoro's his name. It's fine. But the the whole thing when they meet the captain, who's not the captain, I can't think of his name now.
Kuro?
Who? Sorry.
Well, Captain Kuro, the butler. Is that who you mean, or
No, the part of the straw hat. So he thinks he's the captain, but
Oh,
he's not.
Usopp.
Yeah, Usopp, that's it.
Yeah.
I love when you get introduced to him, and you get his friend in the big. I love that whole thing, and the guy with the creepy sword fingers,
Yeah,
like giving Freddy Krueger a fucking
Kuro,
run for his money. Like,
Who-
I can't take him seriously because every time he's on the screen, Bex goes, "Oh, look, it's David Williams."
Oh, she's ruined it.
but like in the anime, he does that glasses pushing up thing, like because obviously he normally wears giant claws, so even when he doesn't have them on, he does it. And I just love that they left that in.
I love that whole thing, that whole part, especially like with him and his story about his mom. I love that.
What about you?
I don't
Kate?
think that's in the anime, is it? Like the Usopp's mother thing.
I don't think his mother's in. No,
I don't remember that at all.
They use the kids, don't they? Usopp's shown off to the kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like the other sort of weird orphany children.
Yeah. Like the Usopp pirates. That's what they were called, I think. But
there's no onion in the live action or anything. We didn't get them.
Oh,
yeah, true.
Could come in later as well. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, they might just pick those characters up and move them to a different island.
So make Usopp seem a bit important. But I think the mother story, the mother like kind of added a bit more weight to it as well. So. So what about you, Kay?
Okay, so what I was Googling the quote because I didn't want to get it wrong, but I've realized the quote's different in the anime versus the live action, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
I loved the fight between Mihawk and Zoro.
Right.
And the part for me is when Zoro turns around and he's like, swordsman's greatest shame is a scar on his back. And I was just like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. That fight was fantastic. And I think with the live action, a lot of people were worried about it looking silly, obviously, because it's adapted from a manga and an anime, which we've established, obviously, is very crazy, is very over the top, especially when you got people with rubber limbs. It could look a bit silly. And with Mihawk having this tiny sword and then gigantic sword and Zoro using 3 swords, it had a potential to look very, very silly. But I think that entire fight was choreographed so well, and I was fully invested, fully believed it. And props to Mihawk yet again. I'm a Mihawk gal.
It was like a dance. It was like they were dancing with each other. It was beautifully put together. Wow, yeah, I like that.
Zoro is constantly like, I mean, you'll know he's an idiot basically.
Likes his drink, doesn't he?
But he will. I think in the anime he pretty much only drinks and he barely ever eats. He drinks and works out, but he's that kind of amazing idiot that you want on your like team to go to war with, where it's like he's gonna do something incredibly dangerous and put his life at the most maximum risk, like just to try and take somebody out, like try and beat someone in a sword fight, and it's always like excellent to see. And yeah, they'll get a ship's doctor soon. It'll be fine.
I like that they put in that he got lost as well.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Because Zoro literally gets lost all the time in the anime. Like he'll be following Luffy and Sanji or something like that in a straight line and take a wrong turn.
Yeah.
Oh, you really like it. The anime version, from what you're saying, sounds so different to what we've seen in the live action.
It's the same. He's still like stoic and serious, but like every now and then he gets shown up for like some silly reason, and like everyone will laugh at them. Because that's like something that I'm excited to see going forward, is how the crew has like little cliques within itself, like. There's like the younger guys who are like, you know, that's so cool when they see a weird animal or whatever, and then there's like, you know, the more serious ones who kind of sit back and be like, here we go again. So I'm excited to see like the kind of little like cliques form in the crew, hopefully.
Mine, because normally with a show like this or any type of like big show, the final battle always leaves a little bit disappointing, because you've just had the big fight at Arlong Palace with Arlong and Luffy and stuff, and the Arlong pilots, but then Garp turns up and the big fight between Luffy and Garp, and it's fair enough, it's not all big bells and whistles and stuff. It's quite intense, but it gets you to a place that Luffy needs to be, and it builds on that relationship between Garp and Luffy as well. And that element, I just thought, yeah, it lived up to the hype, and it lived up to, like, it wasn't a disappointment, it wasn't a damp squid, as it could have been. It could have been, Garp slaps Luffy around a little bit, and Luffy still doesn't give up, and he goes, "That's my kid, that's my son, grandson." But it was kind of like, no, testing to his max and pushed him, and then went, right, I do believe that you're going to go out and do this. You might not be the Pirate King, but you're going to make a difference to the world. And I was kind of like, I kind of lived for that a little bit as well.
Yeah, I was a little bit like taken aback by Garp's character in the live action, because he was very much more serious and business. Because I'm sure in the anime he's just like this giant, like muscly old guy who he's like as silly as Luffy, you know, like he's like grown up, but then, you know, something will like piss him off and he'll start shouting like Luffy, you know, like that kind of thing. But I was happy that by the end they turned him around. It's like, because he's one of the old, he's like one of the old guard of like the Navy, where he remembers the old days when like the big pirates were kind of left on their own because they were so powerful, and he knows there's like supposed to be a back and forth, like you can't just arrest everybody type of thing. No, I was happy they finally got that in. It's like a, you know, it's a little crumb of acceptance for Luffy, isn't it?
He is.
It was good that added him in, because Garp doesn't show up until about 400 episodes in or something.
400.
Yeah, like because but I liked how they had his little dog hat immediately and didn't make a joke out of it, because that's accurate. He does wear that on occasion, because he's like, I'm sure his like nickname's something like, you know, Bulldog Garp or something like that.
It should be Silver Fox Devil. My God, that man is beautiful.
He was excellent as well. Yeah,
there's just some beautiful people in this program.
Yeah.
I don't understand the Scottish accent though. Like Luffy, the
more
Brazilian
scary.
guy, and he's Scottish granddad.
Is it worse than Gerald Butler's accent in 300?
And there's nothing that can beat that.
Also, the kid version of Luffy as well. Like that's the only thing that I don't think they did well was the kid Luffy, because he's like talking to Shanks and he's like, "Hey Shanks, I'm going to be a pirate," and then he grows up and he's like, "I am going to be the king of the pirates."
Oh, okay. You mean the accent was wrong?
Yeah.
Well, he might have spent a bit longer in Brazil. You never know.
Well, he's not. Luffy's family line is confusing because they've never really like fully gone into it yet, but I don't think he's native to that island technically. So maybe he did learn the local sort of accent over time. I don't know.
So, one thing I was going to ask, and because I know that, as you say, the TV show so far, the live action, has been very faithful to the anime going forward. Do you think they'll be brave enough to make some big changes? Because I know the hints I got from the show was when I found out that Garp was Luffy's grandfather, I instantly got a vibe when I watched back the first time that there was a relationship with Gold and Garp. Like I thought there was going to be Garp was going to be the grandfather, Gold was going to be Garp's son and Luffy's father. But I know
not
that
quite.
Yeah.
You're on the right lines though, but not quite that.
Right.
I know Luffy's dad's name, and did tell us that before I came out.
So regarding, because the good news with this, because the big thing that was scary for a long time because it took a while for them to announce it that they are doing season 2, and they've committed to I think 12 seasons. But again, that could have been
12.
That could have been a rumor or something I've read somewhere. Yeah. What do you think is going to be happening from season 2? So we'll go with Kia first.
I'm excited for season 2 because hopefully it means we get to go to Drum Island and meet Chopper. Okay.
So get to the Chopper, but yeah.
I just want Chopper.
Jamie Lee Curtis wants to be the Doctor as well. I can't remember her name.
Yes. Oh my God, Dr. Correa.
Do you know in the anime that's Goku's voice actor plays her.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Because that's a big thing in Japan. All of the big strong boy characters are played by old women and Pikachu. Yeah, yeah. Well,
I didn't know.
Luffy's voice actress is in original Dragon Ball. She's Krillin, so they've had like a long history of like, you know, swapping back and forth and being like the main character in this show, but not in the next one and stuff like that. It's fun.
So Kay wants to see Chopper.
Yes, but I am afraid for how he's going to look. I will say that because I know there's been a debate online about, you know, is he going to be CGI? Is it going to be just a boy wearing antlers? I've seen some things of people saying they've already said it's not CGI, it's going to be a puppet. And if Grogu is anything to go off, I don't want a puppet Chopper. I'm sorry.
He's got movement. Chopper
He's
moves
gotta
way
move.
more.
Yeah. How would he hide behind it? Like, oh.
It can just be like Sooty, just like Sooty and Sweet. But yeah.
No. Chopper's storyline.
I mean,
he's sobbing for 3 days straight. So I need him to look good because if he looks silly, I'm not going to be invested, and I think that's where it'll lose me.
Yeah, his like story arc when you find out exactly what happened and like the end when all of the like Sakura clouds explode, it's just like, oh my god,
stop.
Yeah. I think this is just, I don't know anything, but I've got a feeling that they're just gonna go straight to Alabasta and do Crocodile.
Right.
And I think that is enough to fill a season 2. And I think they're probably gonna hit like Chopper and some extra crewmates in like season 3, but I don't know. That's my feeling, that they're just gonna they're either gonna cliffhanger with Crocodile, you know, or they'll, you know, do the whole Alabasta arc and stuff. And
Well,
you'll
who
get
was
Vivi.
it that was teased at the end? I can't remember. Was it Smoker or Crocodile?
It was
Smoker.
Yeah.
But like he's just kind of like a running sort of chase guy, kind of like Garp. Like he doesn't play a massive role.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
But like, so with the end to this, that's the impression I got, Jake, as well, that he's going to be fulfilling the Garp role.
Yeah.
Because Garp's going to go off and probably do his own thing for a little while before coming back. But yeah, we need someone like not a bad guy, but almost like to keep Luffy on his toes. So I think that's going to be that aspect. I think Buggy will return because Buggy is the fan favorite for the season. You've got to keep these clown women happy.
Thank you.
But yeah, I do think Crocodile is the if you want to almost like portray it like an Avengers type like thing, have him there, but like as a background, like almost like the Thanos type thing for a few seasons. I think that might work well.
I think they would do that with like some of the big Admiral guys, because there's all like most of the big characters have either crazy superpowers or like giant men or women who can be scary without superpowers. But although I don't know, everyone has superpowers because in One Piece, if you just train enough as a human, you can get like iron skin powers, or like, you know how Shanks scares off the sea beast? That's a power you can get from just being having a really good stare.
Oh, right. So is that what happened to Adam? He's just one of these giant people from One Piece, and he's just come into the real world type thing. But yeah.
But like, I think because there's all these like super powered admirals that are really scary. Like, you know, there's like a guy with like ice powers and a guy with lava powers. And I think if they want like a consistent in the background scary guy, I think they'll probably use one of them before they hit on like, I don't know, Blackbeard or something. But yeah, there's like the whole Blackbeard and Whitebeard guys that could bring in. There's just so many directions that could go. I would hate to be on the writing team, is what I'm saying, because that's like a task and a half.
I wouldn't be sad if they missed off the Giants. I'm not just saying.
I agree.
What about you, Lee?
I feel like they're going to go a lot further than Crocodile. I've been trying to work it out where they might get up to. And I think Crocodile will be like a mid-season boss. And I think they'll probably just completely skip Sky Pier, like the Sky Island stuff, and get up to Ennie's Lobby. Is it? I feel like Rob Lucci will be the bad guy of season 2 ending. Because they've covered what, like 70, 80 episodes in this first season.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that. And I think they'll probably have to cover a lot more if they're gonna fit everything into 12 seasons.
It's interesting thinking about that though, because like I know everyone says like skip Sky Pier and stuff like that. It's basically an arc where they go to an island in the sky. And fair enough, it doesn't have a lot of bearing on what happens on the ground, but they find some stuff that leads you to the One Piece up there and stuff. And it's important for, like, he was reading him that storybook.
Oh, Nolan.
Yeah, like that's like some of the kind of follow some of that story. So with them hinting to that, I'm like, are they gonna skip Sky Island and stuff? I don't know. It's an interesting
If they do put
one.
it in, I think they'll have to have a few more episodes in the season. Like
Yeah.
10 to 12 episodes.
Yeah. Did I read somewhere as well that people have been getting looked at as the cast for Nico Robin?
Yeah,
Yes,
she
I thought
comes
so.
in quite soon, doesn't she?
So that'll be interesting. Keep the fanboys happy for a while. What about you, Sammy?
I haven't got a fucking clue.
Well, what would you like to happen though?
Yeah.
What do you want to
More
see?
Zoro, Jake, in all honesty. Just
Yeah?
more Zoro.
Do you want Zoro
on
just to
screen.
take his top off and stuff?
I'm not even
He
bothered about
does
his
a
top
lot.
being off. On
He
just
trains, like he holds a weight in his mouth and then swings a giant weight around for his
I
trainer.
wonder how long they do it till he
Sounds
loses his
fucking
eye.
amazing. What?
That was way
That'll
later.
be in the two-year time skip.
Yeah,
They
there's a
never even
time
explain
skip.
what's happened to his eye.
Okay, that explains one of Anthony's Zoro statues.
Yeah, because like
Never
as
realized.
like as an anime person, I was just thinking like, oh well, obviously he's gonna like open it and he'll have some kind of like crazy power only when he opens that one eye. But no, they still haven't told us anything.
I just want more beautiful people.
I think
But-
that'll happen.
Yeah, I just want more beautiful people.
I do say though as well, I think we've been very lucky this year with TV shows wise. I think movies, I'll be honest, has probably taken a bit of a back seat when it comes to like there's not been too many movies where I've watched that thought, oh, that's been brilliant, or that's been thing. I think the only one that stands out movie wise is probably Barbie. Which is
Yeah.
strange thing to say, but I think that was just a wonderful piece of cinema. But TV shows, like we've had One Piece, like this was there was two shows that like say was we got a lot of good, but two shows that was head and shoulders above anything I've seen this year: One Piece and The Last of Us. So I do think we've been quite lucky with that element as well. And if they keep up with what they're doing, I don't know how they'll keep up with the budget. That's the only thing that does scare me. I know Netflix money, but as Jake said,
Do you think it's different with this Netflix thing though, because you couldn't stop them from carrying on? You know what I mean? Because it's like One Piece is backing it. Like they could just take the actors and be like, all right, Amazon, do you want to foot the bill and we'll do like season 3 with you? Like that's the interesting thing about it, because obviously Netflix originals, like it stops with them. Whereas this is bigger than Netflix, so I'm hoping like the people who work on it will get to finish whatever they feel like
the
finishing.
third biggest media property in the world or something.
Is
I think
it
it's
really?
number 1. If it just had
In all honesty, the cinematography and the in visuals and everything that goes with this is something I have never seen in my 40 years. It is breathtaking to look at. It doesn't even look real. Like I understand we're in a world of fantasy, but to see what's in front, I'm like, I can't get my head around what I'm looking at. It's so breathtaking. And if Netflix decide to throw the towel in, Amazon will look at the money they put into Lord of the Rings. They've got the coin.
They're still trying to recoup that back, so don't worry.
Oh,
I'll watch that.
They lost a canny few billions on that though. But the way I would describe it, and I love the way Sammy put it there. The cinematography and the things I said, like the way I would describe this as well. Like when I first saw the Christopher Reeve Superman film in the 1980s, it made us believe a man could fly. When I watched the One Piece TV show, I believed a man could bend. Like
Bobby King of the Pirates.
Yes, but anything else anyone wants to hit on before we do wrap up there?
No.
Oh,
One
what
of
do you
the
what do you
characters-
think the One Piece is?
All right.
Oh no, not this question.
Is there any like kind of fan theories out there? Because I love like
Oh,
Game
so
of Thrones
many.
is more interesting because of fan theories. Like, is there any in the community about the One Piece?
The One Piece Oda has apparently said it is partially a thing.
It's
which means
he said
it's partially not going to be a thing.
He said it's not friendship though.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be like Pulp Fiction where it's just a light in a suitcase.
I don't think so.
Well,
okay.
The rulers of the world live up on top of the red line. Don't know the bit of land that separates all the world, basically.
That cuts the world in half. It's weird.
And one of the biggest theories is that Luffy is going to destroy the red line, which connects all of the seas, which will create the all blue for Sanji, turning the whole world into one piece rather than two pieces. But then there is also a physical thing, which a lot of people have said it's probably Binks's sake, which that's like just a little weird thing. It's like a song that gets sang later on in the series.
It was in the series though, which was fun.
Oh, yes.
And they did play the song, like the We Are song, but just in the background. Yeah, I've got no idea what the One Piece is because they also keep talking about these like weapons that the countries have, but they've never shown any of them. They're like, there's a hidden weapon on this island, and I'm like, is the One Piece some like world-ending thing? Is Luffy gonna destroy it? Is that because like that's the whole thing? Like Gold Roger found it, and like all we know is that it made him laugh a lot. There's just like a panel in the manga where it's just like he laughed. Like that's all you see.
A lot.
And it's like, so I don't know, but Luffy's like, he's your classic anime like character where he doesn't care about like the only power he cares about is to protect people. He's not like when he says he wants to be king of the pirates, he wants to be like everyone's friend and you know respected and accepted. Like he doesn't want to actually, you know, become the new world government or anything. So like if it is anything political, I think Luffy will destroy it or do the same thing Roger did and leave it, you know. It's like it's fun to think about though, but no, they've never really hinted at what it is like properly in the anime.
Cool. So what about you, Kia? What do you think the One Piece is?
I don't know enough about One Piece to have a valid opinion, I think, on this.
You could still guess it though.
Mine's a bit more aloof, if anything. One of the things that I'd said to my partner, and he was kind of like, you're onto something there, because obviously I'm not too deep into the anime. I'm only up to Skypiea currently. But I was like, to me, I think the One Piece might be, there's going to be a sacrifice from Luffy in the end. I think Luffy will perish. He will cease to exist, but I think he will take on the form of the sun. He will be the One Piece that sees the world through its day to day. He is the thing that keeps everyone going. He's always that like symbol of like life and hope and a dawn type thing.
That is so deep.
It could be because he has.
Love it.
They have just recently unlocked like a new level of his power, which means that he's kind of not just a stretchy man. But I don't want to spoil too much of that stuff. He's not just a rubber man, it turns out.
So he's Lee. He's turned into Lee now, has he? But
I'd like Luffy's one of those characters, like, because I've seen people like, you know, draw fan fiction where he's like settled down with like, you know, and having kids and stuff. And it's just not him. He's gonna die fighting, or he's gonna like, you know, like sacrifice himself, like Kay was saying. But yeah. That's a cool one. That could be interesting. It's a bit Mass Effect. Walks into the column of light in the middle of the end.
It's going to be the very first ever copy of the Goonies. That's what it is. The One Piece. One Eye Willie's treasure chest. That's what it is.
It's a shame they probably won't ever reference the Goonies unless it is big in Japan, which I don't know. It could technically be in there somewhere.
Like I say, the ultimate pirate adventure, and they're not talking about the Goonies, which breaks me heart a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Sammy, are you gonna give it a try?
What's that?
What's the One Piece?
I have no idea. I was just thinking like a piece of string or something. Like it was just going to be like
really
like
something
so just something so mundane that it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. I'm thinking along the lines of Pulp Fiction, to be honest.
Well, like if it's a One Piece, like one piece of gold. Like
it could be a fabrication. You know, like it could be like Gold Roger just said that. You know, like like there was a legend. Yeah, there was a legend. He found it, but it might just be nothing.
He's just sent everyone on a wild goose chase just for shits and giggles, and that's what made him laugh.
Yeah,
because there is like backstory as to why he got caught. Because like when everyone talks about him being like, you know, king of the pirates, you think, how can he ever be caught and just, you know, like brought in chains? But they explain it. Like that's one thing I'll say about One Piece. If you have any like questions about like powers, whys, hows, like they'll explain it eventually. Like there's a reason they're not telling you right now, sort of thing. So yeah, I would just say go along for the cruise and just, you know, accept it. Have fun.
Just accept it.
So one thing I'll ask before we do wrap up as well, which character do you most relate to, or would you say is closely to yourself there? So we'll go with Lee there because he smirked. Zoro. You're not as bad as to be Zoro.
He's like quite quiet and stoic, which that's what you've said about me. So
only when you're on the podcast.
I always thought I was quite like him anyway.
You're not stoic. You're just quiet. You're a buffoon.
Okay.
You're more like Usopp.
Oh no, Goodwill's Usopp. I'm sorry.
The thing about Usopp as well.
He's our heart and soul, though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Throughout the seasons, keep an eye out for everything that Usopp says, because he's telling lies, but for some reason, everything that Usopp says comes true.
Right.
Like the pirates are coming, and the pirates do eventually show up. Or like he'll say that he has an army of like 10,000 men, and I'm sure at one point he does end up having an army of 10,000 men. And it's very weird. I don't know why it happens, but I'm sure they'll throw hints in as the seasons go. Like, oh, this could be a thing.
Do you know? I'm guessing like it's super common knowledge. Again, it's said in Kill Bill, but his name's basically like liar in Japanese. Like Usopp is like lie sort of thing. So he's basically just like called liar. But yeah, casting the crew. So I've already like Sam is definitely Robin because like she's the most goth Straw Hat member, and she kind of just.
Jake.
And she sits back and lets the silly boys just get on with make fools of themselves. If Paul has to be Luffy, then I think that has to make me Sanji. And I do like to cook, and you know, if someone makes something with love, then you know I'll eat it and enjoy it. I'm not just about this like, you know, fake high class stuff. And I do have his cookbook, the anime cookbook.
But yeah, I'm a bit confused. You said Robin's the most goth. Isn't the Doctor made it like a skeleton?
Oh well, I know, but like he's also plays the fiddle. I've never seen Sam pick up a fiddle.
Oh no, he's not the Doctor. He's the musician.
He's the musician.
Yeah, sorry. The Doctor is 2020 Chopper.
Yes,
the best character.
A reindeer.
2020 Chopper's a doctor. I'm sorry, I'm finding out so much.
He's a reindeer who ate the human fruit.
That's my guy right there.
I love it.
He's not a tanuki or a raccoon.
but who are you then, Kay? Who would you say yourself?
I don't think I fit with any of them yet, you know. Sometimes I feel like a Kobe or a Helmetal. I'm just doing my best, but I come across as a bit of an idiot sometimes.
There is a horror island because that's something we haven't mentioned. There's basically like an island for every theme. They've just been to Japan Samurai Island in the anime. It's like there is a horror island called Thriller Bark where I'm sure you could find a relatable character.
Everyone keeps saying, "Oh my god, Kay, you've got to watch Till Thriller Bark. Like you're gonna love it. It's totally your vibe. Like if you like Nightmare Before Christmas type vibes, it's gonna be the one for you." But honestly, I was sold on Chopper.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people were like, "We didn't expect that from you, Kay," but what can I say? I love a cute little animal.
So if you see Kay about, buy her a little chopper, so she'll be happy.
No, because I've said this year for Christmas, I think everyone's just getting me Chopper stuff. Because all I've
You
done is
maxed
say,
out.
oh my god, he's so cute. I love Chopper. And this happened last year with Chainsaw Man, where I was like, I love Pachita. And I just got tons of Pachitas for Christmas. So
Yeah.
I might be decked out in a Chopper hat next time you see me.
Oh, amazing.
Amazing.
Yes. For myself, I'd say if I wasn't going to be Luffy, I probably would be Kobe. Because like I said, I just feel like that meek little quiet character that.
I
Okay.
would put you
Marine,
as
eh?
Garp.
You put me
One
as
of
who?
them.
Would you say that, Lee?
I would
Are
have put
you
you
Garp?
As who?
Garp.
Garp.
Luffy's granddad, yeah.
Always testing you. I'm only picking on you, and like I say, we made Goodwill the man he is today, but that's fine.
Okay, well, if that makes Goodwill Luffy, then if Paul is Garp, Captain Goodwill,
Captain Goodwill as always. But yes,
I think he would do everything he could to save us if we were in trouble.
Totally 100% agree.
bless. So I think that's a nice little way to end it. Other than what rating would you give the TV show out of 5? Because we like to do our little ratings. Sam's already got a hand up for 5 already. Goodwill. Lee's doing
Goodwill.
Goodwill.
Goodly.
Goodly.
Oh God, how many gimmicks does Lee have? Bless him.
Lee is now christened Goodly.
Goodly. What about you, Jake?
5, but like I want more. So like, you know, maybe it's a 4 because they didn't give me enough episodes. But no, no, I really liked it. Like I said, I didn't fault anything in it, and I know hopefully there's good stuff to come. Like season 1 sort of early arc stuff isn't my favorite because I'm one of those guys who likes when the powers get crazier. Like, you know, I've always liked superhero stuff. So of course I like it when people get stronger and they can transform.
What about you, Kia? What would you give it out of 5?
I think I have to give it a 5 because I was the same. I had no issues with it when I was watching it, and I was thoroughly looking forward to every next episode.
No, definitely. I'm the same. This would be my number 1 show of the year if The Last of Us hadn't came out, and I think I was more invested in The Last of Us because of the game and how much I love the games and stuff like that. But this one came out of nowhere. Well, didn't come out of nowhere just because I wasn't expecting it, and I watched it because Lee literally was bursting with excitement every week. Literally would pop up and say One Piece in 7 days, One Piece in 6 days.
I do remember leading up to it. Like he was like, "Yeah, it's coming out in like a couple of months' time," and then it was like, "Oh, it's coming out in a month's time," and then it's like, "No, it's coming out today." And I do remember that kind of lead up.
And I was like, I'm not gonna say anything because poor Lee's gonna get his heart broken by a terrible anime adaptation. But I'm so glad I was wrong.
Because let's be honest, Netflix hasn't got a good history of anime conversions. Like when you look at Death Note and Cowboy Bebop and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nothing has a good history of anime conversions.
Because there's a few secret ones that nobody really like knows about. Like, you know, there's live action like Bleach and stuff like that, and they've dabbled every now and then. But yeah, I'm absolutely happy I'm wrong. Oh, here's Zeus. He can be Chopper.
Hey, Chopper.
But yeah, like I'm really glad I was wrong and that it was actually good, and I would never have guessed in a million years that we would be sitting with the entire Nutty Up North podcast group gushing about how good One Piece was, because I thought that was just mine and Lee's and Donna's little weird niche series that we all liked.
To be honest, like I say, I would be scared to get Donna on an episode like this because her knowledge and stuff like that would be terrifying. Like when she talks about, she goes into like so much detail, like to the point where I'm getting Donna, chill out, just go to bed, Donna. But yeah, so what have we got lined up coming up, guys?
Oh, well, we are not here on Sunday for obvious reasons. Following Friday, we are quizzing the night away. Lots of special guests joining us for end of year nerdy quiz.
The big nerd quiz of the year, where like I say, the quiz mistress Jess will be putting us through our paces.
Yeah. If you saw the 24-hour live stream and the quiz section, you will know what you are in for, because she was fucking phenomenal. She was so prepared that it was like we could have literally filled the full 24 hours with Jess's quiz.
She had, I think it was 30 rounds planned, and we only got through 3. So yeah.
So I'm glad we're making use of that.
Yeah.
Bless her.
And then before we end the year, we have one more little ditty that we are doing.
Yes,
literally as we're ending the year.
It'll probably be just me and Sam on that one, because I can't imagine everyone will be watching on New Year's Eve. But yeah, we're the two sad cases that have no plans and partners are working, so we're going to talk about a film. Not going to tell you what film, but it will be a film. No. Also, as well as is the Naughty Boys twitching this week, Jake, or next week?
I think everyone's knackered for the holidays.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've got a few days off, but have absolutely nothing planned. Just go watch our Game of the Year thing. That was fun. I had Paul and Leon and Adam as usual, and we just talked about what games we've liked this year, and it had a nice little casual chat. No one, was calling out other people's picks as wrong or anything. It was all good.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And that would never happen. We would never say you're wrong. But yeah, it was interesting choices and a lot of different takes. Have you got anything planned, Kay? Anything you want to promote?
I'm just working, pal.
Oh,
you are doing the hardest job. Retail at Christmas. Bless you.
I could cry.
Bless you.
Please don't. It's nearly over. It's nearly done.
Well, I promise not to come in the store and buy anything.
You can come in the store and buy things. Just don't make any awkward requests.
Oh, I know, bless you. It's like, see, I popped my head in the other day, and like, see, people were just like, got this in, got that, and it's like, why don't you fucking look? But yeah, sorry, that was just me, like, just thinking.
Is that your customer service head coming on now?
But yeah, it just people always blow my mind. Yeah, but yeah, Kay will probably be returning in the new year, no doubt. There is a certain film coming out next year that she'll probably make us watch, to the Terrifier 3.
Has it got a clown in it?
How did you get it?
You're telling me I've got to watch the third one as well.
It's a Christmas movie.
It's coming out in October.
Just for you, kid. Just for you.
Oh, thank you.
I watched the first and second one just for you.
Thank you. I feel so loved.
You'll have to come on a non-clown related episode.
I can't ruin my streak like that, man.
But yeah, just trying to think. It's like the start of the year, we've just got loads of 80s movies, and Kate, like as we found out, has not watched as many things as Sam, so which is a surprise.
Yeah.
But yes, no, it's fine. We are starting a section next year where it's like we're reviewing films that Sam hasn't watched, so that'll be.
It's gonna be a long list.
Yes. Like I said, watch out in the new year. Lots of cool things planned. Like I said, Goodwill will be returning soon with trekking up north, and him and Graham will be taking you on adventures that probably you don't want to go on, but you'll probably kind of enjoy at the same time. Monsters will be returning as well with a bang, so keep an eye out with that. They've got some
January,
some big plans and some interesting as well, and check out our new logos as well for them. So they'll be I think I've just updated most of the things now, so it should be showing the new looks. And please, like I say, if anyone wants to buy a t-shirt, I know it's not Christmas time, send us a message. Have some fun.
Have a New Year treat. Also, remember to share and subscribe.
And if you want to, I was going to say, if you want to buy us Christmas presents, just buy Twitch subscriptions for you and your friends.
Share along with all the fun. And
or
also,
YouTube live thingies that you can do. I'm not really up on the YouTube.
No, me neither. Them sub thingy my bobbies. But also, if you can, leave a comment and let us know what you think of the episode, what your favorite part of it. Did you like One Piece? Did you not like One Piece? Let us know in the comments. Let's start having dialogue. Let's start talking, people. Come on.
Did you think Lee's hat was too small for his head? That's a debate we're going to start.
Or do you like Lee's hat? Let's talk.
A lot of anime merch is made for Japanese children. Unfortunately,
not Lee's.
The cheap stuff is anyway.
Yes. So yes, like as I said, thank you for this year. We've got a few more things to go, but and thank you, Kay, for joining us as well. It's always a pleasure. Lee, you were part of it, so thank you. And Jake, you're always wonderful. Bless you.
Christmas King.
So same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone.
Bye.